The air is thick with smoke, the sun is a hazy red disk, and ash drifts down like snow. In the distance, a wall of flames devours everything in its path, trees, homes, and memories. For thousands of people each year, this is not a scene from a disaster movie, but a reality they are forced to flee. Wildfires, once seasonal and sporadic, are now burning hotter, faster, and more often than ever before. Before I continue, please give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends, so more people can discover this content. Also, subscribe to receive more content like this. In recent years, images of vast forests engulfed in flames have become all too familiar. News headlines announce record-breaking fire seasons, communities are evacuated, and skies turn an eerie orange as smoke blots out the sun. What was once considered an occasional natural disaster now feels like an annual crisis. Wildfires are not new. Many ecosystems have evolved with fire as a natural process, but the scale, frequency, and intensity of modern wildfires are alarming. Understanding why they are becoming more common and what conditions allow them to spread is crucial to protecting both our environment and the people who live within it. Several interconnected factors explain the rise in wildfire activity. First, rising global temperatures are drying out landscapes faster than in previous decades. Warmer air draws moisture from vegetation and soil, creating conditions where grasslands, shrublands, and forests become highly flammable. Second, prolonged droughts have become increasingly common in many fire-prone regions. Without regular rainfall, plants lose their natural moisture content and become fuel waiting for a spark. Even traditionally damp areas now experience extended dry spells, lengthening the fire season. In mountain areas, earlier snowmelt has shifted seasonal patterns. Snowpacks that once lingered into summer now vanish weeks earlier, removing a key water source that kept plants hydrated. With this moisture gone, vegetation dries out far sooner, creating a longer window of vulnerability. Lightning storms, especially dry lightning that produces little or no rain, are also more common in some regions due to shifting weather patterns. These storms can ignite multiple fires at once, often in remote areas where suppression is more difficult. Human activity, however, remains the leading direct cause of ignitions. Sparks from machinery, unattended campfires, discarded cigarettes, and downed power lines account for the majority of wildfires today. Unlike natural causes, these human-related ignitions can happen any time of year. Finally, decades of fire suppression policies have unintentionally worsened the problem. By extinguishing nearly every fire, land managers prevented natural cycles from clearing out dead wood and underbrush. This has allowed massive amounts of flammable material to accumulate, meaning that when a fire does start, it burns hotter and spreads more rapidly than it might have a century ago. For a wildfire to ignite and spread, three elements must be present: fuel, heat, and oxygen. This concept, known as the wildfire triangle, applies to every blaze, from a small grass fire to a massive forest inferno. The first element, fuel, consists of vegetation such as grass, leaves, shrubs, and trees. In moist conditions, this fuel resists burning. But during prolonged droughts or heat waves, even green plants can lose enough moisture to ignite easily. Continuous stretches of dry vegetation act like a pathway, allowing fire to travel unimpeded across a landscape. The second element, heat, is necessary to raise the fuel to its ignition temperature. Heat can come from natural sources like lightning strikes or volcanic eruptions, but in modern times, human activities provide most ignition events. A single spark from machinery, a discarded cigarette, or an unattended campfire can be enough to start a fire under the right conditions. The drier the fuel, the less heat is required for ignition, which is why hot and dry periods are especially dangerous. The final element, oxygen, is always available in the atmosphere, but wind greatly influences how it fuels a wildfire. Strong winds fan the flames, providing a steady supply of oxygen, and pushing the fire toward unburned areas. Wind can also carry embers far ahead of the main blaze, starting new spot fires and making containment far more challenging. When all three elements of the wildfire triangle are present in abundance, even a small spark can become a fast-moving and destructive fire. While the wildfire triangle explains the basic requirements for fire, weather can act as a powerful amplifier. Hot temperatures and low humidity accelerate the drying of vegetation, while strong winds can turn a manageable blaze into a runaway inferno. High-pressure weather systems can lock in heat and dry air for extended periods, creating a persistent environment in which fires can thrive. Wildfires are not simply a product of bad luck. They are the result of multiple overlapping factors: climate change, land management decisions, and human behavior, all converging to create ideal conditions for fire. While fire will always be a natural part of many ecosystems, the intensity and frequency we are seeing now are unprecedented in modern history. Reducing the risk will require a multi-pronged approach, restoring natural fire cycles through controlled burns, adapting communities, and building codes for fire resilience, and addressing the root causes of climate change. Without action, the growing threat of wildfires will continue to reshape landscapes, displace communities, and endanger lives for generations to come. In the end, wildfires thrive only when the right ingredients come together: dry fuel, an ignition source, and wind-driven oxygen. Unfortunately, in today's warming world, those conditions are appearing more often and lasting longer. The challenge now is not only to understand the problem, but to take bold steps to ensure that fire remains a force of renewal in nature rather than a constant and devastating disaster. Thanks for watching and helping spread awareness about our changing world. If you learned something new, give this video a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and ring that bell so you don't miss more content like this. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below and let's chat. See you in the next one.